How are you guys doing? Today is Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances that took place yesterday on Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. Taking a quick step back and taking a look at where we are in the calendar year, with the baseball season being over, all that's left are awards, and the All MLB teams were awarded yesterday, but I'll do an episode tomorrow about that. Taking a look at what's going on with football, the college football season is coming to a close as the last regular season games will start tomorrow. And in the NFL, there's still half the season left to go. And then, of course, both the college and pro basketball seasons are just underway. Taking a look at what's going on overseas, yesterday was the fifth matchup of Champions League play, as we are getting close to the midway point where the group stage is going to get knocked down from 32 to 16 teams competing for that Champions League title. First, taking a look at what's going on in the world of college basketball, because there was no college football yesterday. In the top matchup in college basketball, taking a look at the number one team in the nation, Gonzaga, they faced off against the second-ranked UCLA Bruins in the final of the Good Sam Empire Classic. Gonzaga would beat UCLA 83-63, winning by 20 after they outscored UCLA by 20 in the first half. The Gonzaga Bulldogs were led in scoring by their starting guard, Andrew Nembhard, their starting senior. And with this win, Andrew Nembhard would end up with 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals in 40 minutes. He shot 9 for 13 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the foul line. On the losing end of this matchup, the second-ranked UCLA Bruins were led in scoring by Jaime Jaquez Jr., their starting junior out of Camarillo, California. He finished with 19 points and 6 rebounds in 36 minutes. He shot 7 for 22 from the field and 4 for 5 from the foul line. With this win, the first-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs are 6-0. With this loss, second-ranked UCLA is 5-1. Taking a look at what's going on with the 12th-ranked college basketball team in the nation, the Houston Cougars hosted the unranked Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin would end up beating Houston 65-63 after they outscored Houston by 20 in the first half. Houston outscored Wisconsin by 18 in the second half, but alas, it wasn't enough. On the losing end of this matchup, the 12th-ranked Houston Cougars were led in scoring by their starting senior, Kyler Edwards, out of Arlington. Kyler Edwards would go on to finish with 18 points and 5 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 6 for 10 from the field. All 6 of his made field goals were from 3. He was 6 for 8 from 3. On the winning end of this matchup, the unranked Wisconsin Badgers were led by their starting guard, Johnny Davis, their sophomore out of Wisconsin. Johnny Davis would go on and drop a 30-burger on the Houston Cougars. He finished with 4 steals as well and 2 blocks in 37 minutes. He shot 10 for 18 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. With this win, the unranked Wisconsin Badgers are 4-1, and with this loss, the 12th-ranked Houston Cougars are now 4-1 as well. Taking a look at what's going on with the 13th-ranked college basketball team in the nation, the Arkansas Razorbacks hosted the unranked Cincinnati Bearcats. Oh, I guess they didn't host. They played at the Hall of Fame Classic. Arkansas would end up beating Cincinnati to keep its unbeaten bid alive, its unbeaten bid alive. Arkansas outscored Cincy by 10 in the second half after they were outscored themselves by 4 in the first half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 13th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks were led in scoring by their starting guard, Adesi Toney. He would go on and finish with 19 points and 9 rebounds in 37 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the field and 7 for 8 from the foul line. And then, of course, taking a look at what's going on with the 14th-ranked team in the nation within that same tournament, the Hall of Fame Classic, the Illinois Fighting Illini faced off against the unranked Kansas State Wildcats. Illinois beat Kansas State 72-64 after they outscored Kansas State by 3 in the first half and by 5 in the second. The 14th-ranked Illinois Fighting Illini were led in scoring by their starting center, Kofi Cockburn. He finished with 23 points in 13 rebounds in 32 minutes. He shot 8 for 10 from the field, and also off the bench, their guard, Alfonso Plummer, their senior out of Puerto Rico, will go on to finish with 21 points for himself. And their 19 minutes, as he shot 7 for 10 from the field. All 7 of his made field goals were from 3. He was 7 for 9 from 3. And with this win, the 14th ranked Illinois Fighting Illini are 3-2 as they fight another day in this tournament. And with this loss, the unranked Kansas State Wildcats are 2-2 as they are eliminated from this tournament at the moment. Taking a look at what's going on at the professional level, not much going on with football as Thanksgiving football picks up tomorrow. Taking a look at what went down in the NBA, starting off in Detroit, the Pistons hosted the Miami Heat. The Heat were able to beat the Pistons 100-92, winning this game by 8 after they outscored the Pistons by 17 in the fourth quarter to overcome their 9-point deficit. On the losing end, the Pistons at home were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Jeremy Grant. Grant finished with 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals in 35 minutes. He shot 6 for 17 from the field and 8 for 9 from the foul line. The Miami Heat, on the winning end, were led in scoring by their guard off the bench out of Kentucky, Tyler Hero. He finished with 31 points and 8 rebounds in 33 minutes. He shot 12 for 21 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. In their starting lineup, their elite starting small forward, Jimmy Butler, would finish with 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists in 35 minutes. He shot 4 for 13 from the field and 7 for 9 from the foul line. Their elite starting center out of Kentucky, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, just like Jimmy Butler. In 31 minutes, Bam shot 6 for 10 from the field and 3 for 6 from the foul line. And the Heat's elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, finished with 15 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers in 35 minutes. Lowry shot 4 for 10 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. With this win, the Miami Heat are now 12-6, and with this loss, the Detroit Pistons are now 4-13. Taking a look at what happened in Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks hosted the Los Angeles Lakers. The Knicks were able to beat the Lakers 106-100. They were able to outscore the Lakers by 4 to increase their 2-point lead going into the quarter. The Lakers were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Russell Westbrook. Westbrook finished with 31 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals, as well as 6 turnovers in 37 minutes. Westbrook shot 10 for 18 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and 8 for 9 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward, Anthony Davis, finished with 20 points and 6 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 7 for 17 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 5 for 11 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Knicks were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Evan Fournier. Fournier finished with 26 points in 42 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field, 6 for 9 from 3, and he would go on to shoot a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting power forward, former All-Star Julius Randle, would finish with 20 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 assists in 34 minutes. He shot 7 for 17 from the field on the day. And then their elite starting point guard, Kemba Walker, would finish with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in 23 minutes. He shot 2 for 6 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the New York Knicks are now 10-8. With this loss, the Los Angeles Lakers are now 9-10 as they now dip a game below 500, less than 2 years removed from their most recent NBA title. Taking a look at what went down in Portland, the Trailblazers hosted the Denver Nuggets. The Trailblazers beat the Nuggets 119-100, winning the game by 19 after they outscored the Denver Nuggets by 14 in the first half. The Nuggets were led in scoring by their starting power forward, and this Jay Green would be Jeff Green. Jeff Green will go on to finish the game with 24 points in 3 blocks in 35 minutes. He shot 9 for 16 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. And then on the winning end of this matchup, the Portland Trailblazers were led by their starting shooting guard, CJ McCollum. McCollum finished with 32 points and 2 steals in 34 minutes. McCollum shot 13 for 19 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3. And then their elite starting point guard, Damian Lillard, would finish with 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists in 31 minutes. Lillard shot 9 for 13 from the field, He shot 5 for 8 from 3 and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the Portland Trailblazers are now 10-8, and with this loss, the Denver Nuggets are now 9-9. And then taking a look at what went down in Staples Center, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks ended up beating the Clippers in overtime, 112-104, after they outscored the Clippers 9-1 in overtime. And then looking at how the Clippers fared on the losing end of this matchup, they were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Reggie Jackson. Jackson finished with 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 steals in 42 minutes. He shot 12 for 23 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and 4 for 6 from the foul line. Their elite starting shooting guard, Paul George, finished with 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in 48 minutes. George shot 7 for 23 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and 11 for 12 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Dallas Mavericks were led in scoring by their starting center, former Eastern Conference All-Star Kristaps Porzingis. He finished with 30 points and 7 rebounds, as well as 5 turnovers in 40 minutes. Porzingis shot 9 for 16 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 10 for 10 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic, would finish with 26 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 blocks, and 6 turnovers in 41 minutes. Doncic shot 9 for 21 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Dallas Mavericks are 10-7. With this loss, the Los Angeles Clippers are now 10-8. That is what the NBA is looking like following yesterday's matchups, and taking a look at what went down in the 5th Tuesday of Champions League play. Starting off, of course, with the teams in group, because these were the matchups between groups E, F, G, and H. Starting with the reigning champs, Chelsea faced off against Juventus at home and pulled off a 4-0 win, which was a very big one for them. Their 4th goal came from their elite German striker, Timo Werner, after Reece James scored their 2nd, Callum Hudson-Odoi scored their 3rd, and then Chalobah scored their 1st goal. Shutting Juventus out was, of course, very big for them in the table. Now they own the tiebreaker over Juventus in this instance. Taking a look at what went on with the other matchup in Group H, Zenit St. Petersburg faced off against Malmo, and this ended up in a 1-1 draw. Following this matchup, Chelsea and Juventus are sitting neck and neck at the very top of Group H, but because of goal differential, Chelsea now is sitting number 1, and Juventus is sitting number 2 in the group. Taking a look now at what's going on in Group G, the reigning French champs Lille hosted FC Salzburg out of Austria. Lille pulled away with the 1-0 win, as Jonathan David's 31st minute goal would be the only goal that puts them past. And then looking at the other matchup in Group G, the group of death, Sevilla faced off against Wolfsburg, and Sevilla hosted Wolfsburg, pulling off the 2-0 win at home, scoring their 2nd goal in the 97th minute. Following these two matchups, Lille sits on top of the table with 8 points. Salzburg sits 2nd on the table with 7. Sevilla sits 3rd with 6. And Wolfsburg sits 4th with 5. So with one matchup left, everybody still has a chance of making it into the next round. Taking a look at what's going on in Group F, looking at the reigning Europa League champions, Villarreal, they faced off against Manchester United at home, and Manchester United pulled off the 2-0 win. Cristiano Ronaldo would score in his 5th consecutive Champions League matchup, and Jadon Sancho would score in the 90th minute for the cherry on top goal. And then looking at the other matchup in Group F, Atalanta out of Italy would go all the way to Switzerland to face off, or not all the way, it's one country north, to face off against Young Boys in Switzerland. This would end up a 3-3 matchup, the last goal being scored by Atalanta's Muriel in the 88th minute. Following these matchups, Man U sits on top of Group F, 3 points ahead of 2nd place Villarreal. Any points at all, I think they're actually clear. Man United has actually qualified for the Champions League with this alongside Chelsea and Juventus. And Villarreal sits 1 point ahead of 3rd place Atalanta, who has 6 points, and then Young Boys sits in last with 4. But Young Boys can still move up in the standings if things just happen to go their way. And last but not least, taking a look at what went down with the Group E matchups, looking at the reigning Bundesliga champions, Bayern Munich went all the way to Ukraine to face off against Dynamo Kiev. They pulled off a 2-1 win as they scored the first 2 goals of the matchup in the first half. Their first from their elite Polish striker, Robert Lewandowski, and then their second from their French winger, Kingsley Coman. Kiev scored their only goal in the 70th minute. The other matchup taking place in Barcelona as Barcelona hosted Benfica. This matchup ended up in a 0-0 draw. Following this matchup, Bayern sits on top of Group E. They've already won. They've already earned the top spot in the group, but they're still rolling. Barca sits second in the table as they sit right ahead, 2 points ahead of Benfica. Dynamo Kiev sits at the very bottom as they have already been knocked out of Europa League contention. So right now the fight is between Barcelona and Benfica within Group E. And then, of course, the Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D matchups will take place today. And, of course, everything that's going on today within the States as well. And once all of those matchups are concluded, I will come back tomorrow on Thursday, November 25th, also known as Thanksgiving here in the United States. And with that said, I want to thank everyone once again for listening to my piece. I do hope all is well. And once all of today's episodes are done, I'll catch you tomorrow. And with that said, I also want to thank the NCAA, NFL, NBA, and ESPN websites for giving me all the facts and figures that I need. And I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Thanks for listening to my piece. I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace.